Welcome to Book Club in the Cloud. Today's episode is about John C. Maxwell's 25 Ways to Win with People. I'm your host, John Ellsworth, and I welcome you to the podcast. It's like reading for your ears. The music makes me smile every time. I love it. So let's jump right in. The chapter 4, or the way number 4 to win with people in John C. Maxwell's 25 Ways to Win with People. Number 4, create a memory and visit it often. I love that second part as well. I did discover, as you may know, I've actually done the first 6 chapters or ways. I started doing this on Facebook, and then I switched to try to do this as a podcast. And I realized, after reading over number 4 here, that takes away part of the reason I was doing it on Facebook, because one of my favorite parts of Facebook right now is its memories functionality. I love that it pulls up things from years in the past, and that does help you revisit a memory, and that's a really positive, really cool thing, especially if you're conscious and you're curating what you're putting on Facebook. That can help you revisit good memories often. So I'll be curious how this works in the podcast version. I imagine I will be posting links to the podcast, so maybe those will still pop up. This chapter, create a memory and visit it often, had lots of gems in it, and I really liked it. Talked about shared experiences can produce memories, even if the experience itself is not positive. The bonding it creates can be. I've heard my experience with playing football in high school, and even coaching high school football the first 10 years when I was a teacher. That's an intense experience, and it's not always a positive experience. It takes a lot of energy and time, and there's a lot of emotion, but it does create memories, and it does those are powerful memories that you can visit again and again. Another one of the gems, it says it points out that you can take initiative to make memories. You can make something happen that produces a memory, which reminds me of a group that I learned about from a TED Talk called Improv Everywhere, and they sort of take this to the next level of doing things to create memories. Most of the time, I would say Improv Everywhere does it in a very positive way where they're not doing any harm, but this idea that if you're bored, you can do something to create a memory. And I like that. It just reminds you that you have some control. Be conscious that memories take time, so you have to set aside time to make something happen. The author points out that he's discovered that it often takes quantity time to actually find quality time. So, for example, I drove my son to get his booster shot. We drove down to Charlotte. Car ride down was great. We had a great conversation. But that was just quantity time. That wasn't like we didn't plan, we're going to have a great conversation at 2:00. It's just that was part of the quantity time of travel time. So quantity time, sometimes I think gets a bad rap. I also think people mythically just think they can magically make quality time happen. And sometimes I think that's overrated. Anyway, I'm a big fan of planning, and this chapter, this way, talks about how you can plan for something to happen. And again, Improv Everywhere. Go check out, look them up and Google them, and you'll see that. And they said creativity can help, and you can always find a way to make something happen. Again, the idea of ownership, you can make a memory, I think is a good thing. It doesn't have to be a passive thing. I mean, planning vacations is sort of, everyone expects to plan a vacation and enjoy it to make good memories. So then we get into another part of the chapter I really like, which talked about mementos. And mementos help people revisit memories. And reliving memories are the payoff. That's how you can flood your brain and your body with that same feel-good juice as the event itself. That's how your brain operates. And that's a really cool thing that a memento or souvenir or any of those kind of things can do. So being thoughtful about mementos, that can really help you relive those experiences. And that's part of that visit it often. In fact, I was just listening earlier today to a podcast, Revisionist History by Malcolm Gladwell. They had one called Dragon Psychology, but it was, I would argue, it was really sort of about hoarders, and it put a spin on it, talking about that for a lot of these people, it wasn't that they, or for some of them, maybe not a lot, I don't know, that it's not that they needed all of the stuff, but that each item had a memory attached to it, and so that was a very important part. Is if you throw away the physical item, there was concern that you're losing that memory. And I do, my wife and I love things. We love collecting things. And this was the first time I sort of really, I thought, spell it out a nice sort of way to think about it, is that the item itself is attached to the memories. And that's part of being able to visit that memory often. So create a memory and visit it often. That's a way to win with people. And I really enjoyed this one. I think it's important that we are conscious and thoughtful and realize we can do that. We can create memories. And then having a memento, a photo even, or a trinket. I mean, there's a reason why you have wedding favors, because they create a memory and they let you visit it often. So that's it. That's create a memory and visit it often. And that'll be it for this episode. Thanks for listening. This episode's music from Scott Holmes Music. Please feel free to share your thoughts with me, John Ellsworth, by emailing john@glstuff.com. Or even just send me a message encouraging me to keep reading. Thanks for listening.